Is Brian Ferentz contemplating a departure from Iowa and a return to the NFL? Well, the rumor mill has been working hard here these last couple of weeks. That is the word on the street. Before we get to those rumors, a reminder, please hit the subscribe button here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Of course, it will help us out to be able to produce great content. Of course, I host a show with Coach Gary Close after every Iowa men's basketball game. We have a great time. Take your calls, take your chats and comments. So please subscribe. And of course, off-season content throughout the year, football and basketball content right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm on YouTube. And please like the video here as well. So the rumor mill is working hard, as I mentioned earlier. Iowa beat writer Pat Hardy said recently here on KCJJ Radio, he said, and I quote, "I've gotten multiple sources saying that he, Brian, is looking for a way to get to the NFL. I've got some pretty good sources that say they're not sure if it's going to happen." He went on to say that's out there, that he just doesn't want to be the coordinator. Now, Hardy later during this same segment on KCJJ Radio said, and I quote, "I heard it a couple days ago, but then 2 days ago I had a couple people text me, and these were really good sources. They're hearing a hot rumor that he's really looking to get out." So could Brian Ferentz really be looking to leave Iowa, making, around $1 million a year as Iowa's offensive coordinator? Could he really be looking to leave for a return to the NFL? Well, I did speak with someone that I consider to be in the know. This person had heard the same rumors, and it sounds like Kirk Ferentz does not want Brian to leave. Okay, that's the rumor on the street, that Brian is looking to get out, but Kirk does not want his son to leave, which would make sense. I'm sure Mary Ferentz, Kirk's wife, doesn't want her son and their grandchildren and her daughter-in-law to leave either. But could it be that Brian Ferentz is concerned about his father's legacy? Could he feel that the offense's lack of production is damaging his father's permanent legacy? I suppose that could be the truth. There's no reason to think it's not. There's no question that Brian loves his father. Right now, the offense is not good. We know total offense, Iowa was 120 plus out of 130 teams in the FBS for the 2021 season. It seems that the offense has regressed under Brian, although it's very rare that Iowa has a real proficient offense over the past 23 years. We know that. If you look at the numbers bear that simple fact out. But Brian could very well just be concerned about his father and his legacy here. So where would he go if he tries to go to the league, or maybe he's trying to go to the league? The one team that everybody keeps bringing up that I keep hearing is Las Vegas. Pat Hardy brought up Las Vegas as well. Josh McDaniels, of course, being hired there recently. He's got connection to the Patriots, as does Brian Ferentz. And let's remember, Brian Ferentz was a tight ends coach when Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez broke NFL records for one season. So that is a plus for the Brian Ferentz resume. Now, as far as a minus on the Brian Ferentz resume, he has struggled to make this offense competitive here at Iowa. And, of course, the lawsuit, the discrimination lawsuit that's currently pending against Brian Ferentz and the University. Kirk Ferentz not named in that lawsuit anymore, but Brian is. That is going to be a challenge. Can Brian find a home in the league despite the fact that he's got this discrimination lawsuit pending? We know Brian Flores filed a suit against several teams in the NFL, recently got hired by the Steelers, but let's remember that Brian Flores was the one who brought this lawsuit forward. He was not the one being charged or the accused in said lawsuit. So that is a factor. It's hard to hire, right now, I'd have to think it's hard to hire a guy who has struggled being an offensive coordinator at Iowa and has also got a discrimination lawsuit pending. The other thing to keep in mind as it relates to Iowa, if Brian were to walk away, we know as of right now, Iowa without a quarterbacks coach, Ken O'Keefe stepping down from that position last week. So one would have to think that if Brian is looking to leave, that Iowa would have an opportunity. It's kind of a rare opportunity because you wouldn't expect Ken O'Keefe and Brian Ferentz to walk away at the same time. But if it were to happen, Iowa then could conceivably go out and grab an offensive coordinator who could also coach quarterbacks. Of course, you're able to pay him more. Ken O'Keefe was making, around $650,000 a year. We mentioned Brian Ferentz's salary. That's about $1.5 million a year. If you have that kind of salary to work with, you can obviously get someone else to come in, I would think, that could coach both positions. Now, I know Brian Ferentz is also coaching tight ends here. I would think Iowa could probably fill that position relatively easily. I mean, this is considered by many to be tight end university. Now, you want the right guy there as well, but certainly I would think Iowa would target a coordinator / quarterbacks coach if Brian Ferentz leaves. Who are the candidates? That's a discussion for another day. I know people want to talk about David Rye from Vanderbilt. Of course, he's no longer with the Commodores. We've heard the names, Chuck Long and whatnot. That's a discussion for another day. This is just a rumor right now. We want to make sure that's clear. This is a rumor. It has been talked about on different podcasts. Of course, Pat Hardy mentioned it here on the radio. We quoted him, so I want to give attribution to him. But the rumor mill is hot. If this is going to happen, though, I would have to think that we're going to hear something within the next couple of weeks. Spring practice starting in just about a month. They've got to get these positions filled, or at least the quarterback coach position, if Brian stays. As of right now, my guess is that he will stay. I'm not going to base my predictions on a rumor. But they say where there's smoke, there is sometimes fire. So would it shock me if he leaves? It would not shock me. As of right now, my guess is he will be Iowa's offensive coordinator in 2022. Until I hear otherwise, Iowa needs to fill the quarterback coach job, though, quickly. Appreciate you logging on here for a few minutes as we discuss the latest around Hawkeye Nation. Again, subscribe here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, like this video, and we will talk to you soon.